Welcome to another episode of Chris McBride Reacts. I appreciate you all taking the time out to check out the video. Before we get started, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and ring that notification bell so you could be alerted anytime we drop another video. So today I got a fire banger, and we are going over the lead attorney's video where he is debating with a woman about paternity fraud. So let's rock out and see what this thing got to talk about.
Mentioned paternity fraud by men, that it didn't happen, and I have to disagree with you. I know lots of cases where that happened.
I'm saying that it can't happen without cooperation. You're never, listen, a woman knows.
Well, I can tell you. I'm telling you, no,
Okay.
I disagree.
Okay, convince me how a woman doesn't know what child came out of her body. I'm waiting.
Well, no. When you say paternity fraud, I mean that's a broad, but I know of men.
All right, first reaction is she said paternity fraud is a broad, and I think she's about to try to say vague thing. Paternity fraud isn't broad or vague. Paternity fraud is basically when the woman knows that the man isn't the father, or the woman knows that it's a high chance that the man isn't the father, and she still leads the man to believe that the baby is his, and he take care of it financially and emotionally and spiritually and all these other areas, but primarily financially, because she knows that whoever the actual father is isn't going to be a good of a candidate as a father as the man that she's putting the baby on. But paternity fraud is when the woman is aware that the baby isn't the man's, or she even if she is aware that there's a possibility that the baby can't be his, because she knows who she slept with, she knows who she gave her body to, so she knows the realm of possibilities. Now a lot of women will be like, oh well, and really try to just, you know what I'm saying, act like they haven't had sex with anybody or whatever. But paternity fraud is when the woman knows that the baby isn't the man's, or she knows that it's a possibility that the baby isn't the man's. That's why men should always get a DNA test, because women have absolute certainties that the baby is theirs. A man, we can hope, we could believe, but we won't know until we get a DNA test. They know from the beginning. Let's keep going.
Who, when I say fraud, for example, this is the case I'm talking about. He said that he didn't know the girl was pregnant or whatever, so the baby was like 2 years old. And
wait, let's stop. Let's just stop for a second. What does paternity mean? Paternity means, it comes from the word paternal, which means father.
Boy, thank you, because she was just talking and I'm like, yo, what? Let's keep going. Let's see how the lead attorney break this down. Lead attorney is definitely one of my favorite channels. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate you, brother. Keep going.
All right, so you don't know who the father is. All right, now a woman can get a DNA test anytime. That's what I'm talking about. The woman participates in it, because the woman has the control of the child. If anyone,
let me finish.
Okay,
he was going to pay the attorney general's office, or whoever conducts those child support things. He got hold to a worker, and he was going to pay them.
That the attorney general's office, this dude was about to go pay, talking about the DNA test. Bro, she's just making stuff up, bro. That don't even make sense. Like, and then she can't even articulate what it is at the attorney general things or whatever people go to get. She's capped. Let's go.
To change the test or lie. And he almost got them to do it, except the guy chickened out in the end. So isn't that fraud?
This is some movie, social media stuff she didn't seen, or some dramatic thing played out again in some movie or TV show. It's like, that's be the scary thing about TV, man, and just the fantasy world, is that people oftentimes conflate reality with those made up experiences. That's why everybody shouldn't watch TV, because that really gets in your spirit. And a lot of times when she's clearly triggered, and when you're triggered, you pull things from your spirit, and what's in your spirit is everything that didn't got you emotional. So anytime you're watching TV and you get emotional about a character, oh, this person did that, or oh, why you do that, or anytime you feel yourself anything, your subconscious is accepting that as an actual experience that you're experiencing, which is why every time we're trying to talk about reality, most people pull from fucking fantasy. It's crazy.
He's the father. That is paternity fraud.
So you're saying that the guy was going to get let's say, a blood test, and he was going to pay off the scientist who was doing the blood test to change the work, to change the lab
Yes,
results.
the attorney general's office, whoever's the workers, whoever was conducting the blood work, the tests, whoever.
And I appreciate his level of self-control, because you can even tell, like, man, that irritation is just like, bro, you are just the need to be right of just pulling just things out of your ass. Like, that is crazy.
He was gonna just pay some worker there to change, and he almost got it completed. He had the money to do it, except the guy chickened out in the end. That's what he said. So isn't that paternity fraud? I mean, if men could get out of it like that, they could. Just y'all blaming the women. I know a lot of y'all men wants the DNA. Yeah, you're the daddy. Yeah, women do a lot of stuff. Can you blame them? They just looking for the best for their child, like you said. But men just don't have a choice. But if they could find a way out to be the daddy, they would. And that's one case. So I
What the hell did she just say? We're gonna run that back. What?
do it, except the guy chickened out in the end. That's what he said. So isn't that paternity fraud? I mean, if men could get out of it like that, they could. Just y'all blaming the women. I know a lot of y'all men wants the DNA. Yeah, you're the daddy. Yeah, women do a lot of stuff. Can you blame them? They just looking for the best for their child, like you said. But men just don't have a choice. But if they could find a way out to be the daddy, they would. And that's one case. So I just wanted to disagree with you, and that's one case. And on the flip side,
I just wanted to disagree with you. Clearly, the need to be right and just pulling things out of thin air. Even if you just look at the chat and what everybody is saying, she clearly sounds crazy, but in her mind, she just want to be right, saying anything, pulling any story or anything out of thin air just to make her story seems right and seem accurate, just because she wanted to be disagreeable. Let's keep going.
About all the fathers who really know they are not the biological father, and they are with these women, and they know they just lied to the kid forever, and then the kid is like 30 years old, and they're like, that's not my daddy. Isn't that paternity fraud?
I'm really trying to get through this video, but this woman gives me a headache. So she is saying that a man knows that he's not the father of a kid, but still, because he cares about the kid and because he cares about the woman, he chooses to raise that kid and identify as that kid's father. She tries to say that is paternal fraud. And she tries to equate that to, again, real paternity fraud is when a woman knows that she's telling a man that this baby is yours when she knows that it's not his, or she knows that it's a possibility that it's not his. She's comparing a woman knowing that she's putting a baby off on a man that's not his, or knowing that it's a possibility that it's not his, but she's letting him believe that it is his for sure. And she wants to say that that's on the same field as a man knowing that the baby isn't his, a man knowing that the baby isn't his, and a man still choosing to actually be there. The fraud comes in when a man doesn't know. What are we talking about here? That should be common. But again, this need to be right shuts off people's willingness to listen, and they just be saying things. Lord have mercy, bro. Like, any nigga in her life, I know, got a headache. She's probably single though. Seriously.
No, that's just lying to the kids. Like, if the man knows, it's not paternity fraud, right? Well, here's the thing. Paternity fraud is when a woman says that a man is the father when she knows, or should know, has a reason to know, that he's not the father, or that he could not be the father, right? And the man believes it. Now, you can argue that if a woman says you are the father and the man knows conclusively that he's not the father, but he chooses to stay in the woman's life anyway, you can say that's not paternity fraud. For example, if a man isn't, let's say I'm infertile and my girlfriend winds up pregnant and she says, oh, this is yours. And I'm like, oh, okay, but I know it's not mine because I'm infertile. It's not really paternity fraud. She's kind of committing paternity fraud, but it's not working because I know it's not mine. So you're saying, what if the man knows and just raises the child up? That happens a lot.
Yeah, he's lying to the child. Yes, it's not a legal fraud, and he can't.
Just this need to be right again. He's lying to the child. So the actual mother of the child isn't lying to the child. The man who is stepping in to be a stepfather and to raise a kid that's not his DNA, that's not tied to his DNA, that's the one that's lying to the. It's like, women, y'all gotta start checking things like this, because it's like, if y'all don't want, you know what I'm saying, this to be put on all of y'all, like, it's like, bruh, y'all gotta start holding people like this accountable, because this is ignorant. And this is why men all want to get DNA tests. This is why a lot of men don't. Because, I mean, just listen to what she is saying and how she is justifying the simple fact of paternity fraud, or how she is just reducing it, or just refusing to just hold women accountable for that, and just trying to, again, just turn the mirror on the man. Well, it's the man's fault. Well, the man, he lied to the kid, and the man, he did. Come on, man, y'all gotta start calling this stuff out. This trash.
To jail, and some people would say that's noble, but look at the child. Maybe the child wanted to know who his biological father was.
That's the mother's issue.
Maybe he could still love the stepfather, but that's a whole lie that was told to that child forever. Some people take that to the grave.
Yeah,
So,
but usually in those cases, it's for the child's benefit.
right,
Guys,
but
listen,
I get it.
children are not adults, and you can't give children adult rights. To be honest, I mean, children need decisions made for them. And if your 2-year-old is going to want to know who his father is, but his father's pookie and got dope in the house,
Well, how come it's okay when the man lies, but not when the woman lies? Is not okay. It's still a lie. It's just that you have more of an issue. It's all fraud to me. You just have an issue with that kind of fraud.
Bro, did y'all hear what she just said? So a man knowing that a kid isn't his, but still choosing to be a stepfather, and to not tell a little kid that, yo, I'm not your real dad. I don't really know where your real dad is. Knowing all those questions is going to come up, but just stepping in the role as a father. She said that, again, is on the same playing field as a woman knowing that a baby is not a man's, or knowing that the possibility could be that it's not this man's baby, and still putting the idea in this man's mind that it is absolutely his baby with no possibility of it being somebody else's baby. She's equating those two. That is crazy. If a woman has had sex with another man and she is not letting the person that she's putting the baby on know, again, that it's a possibility that another man could be, that is trash. Trash. That the worst type of trash.
No idea what you're talking about, Jan. What are you talking about if the man lies and the woman lies?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like anytime you're lying about the whoever the father is, it's a lie. Whether it's on a DNA test or lying, I'm just saying that it's lying. Is it not lying? It's fraudulent. What's the definition of fraud?
You keep saying it. Is it lying? I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I was just giving a definition of to me what paternity fraud. I just gave you an example when you say you disagree that it's in the
generation of people that make up definitions. I'm just going to tell you what it is to me. No, it means what it means. And he has said multiple times throughout this thing what paternity fraud is, but yet still she keeps trying to make it something else and just ignore what it actually is. And just trying to make it something about the man lying. When paternity fraud, again, is a woman knowing that she's had sex with somebody else, so the baby, either she knows the baby isn't this dude's, or she knows the possibility that the baby isn't this dude's, and she puts it on this nigga. Paternity fraud is about a woman lying.
Of the child, fine, but the example still stands about the guy who wanted to pay the workers to lie about that. That's a paternity fraud. I'm just saying that men do. I know of cases like that where they lie about the paternity of the child. They just, it's as hard.
They? Is it the men or the women? Jan, this is so confusing.
The men. If a guy is saying, huh?
You're using all of these pronouns. We're talking about men, women, and children. You're talking about they.
Men. If a man, you said that men do not commit paternity fraud.
People are not keeping up with what you're saying. They're like, what are we talking about?
I'm not reading the chat. I'm talking to you. Men do. You said that men this is something you said earlier. I'm just going by something you said earlier. You said that paternity fraud is not committed by men. Did you not say that?
It can't
Correct, because it's paternity fraud. This is not maternity fraud. Paternity fraud is committed against men. It comes from the word paternity, paternal. It means men.
So, well, then he's committing maternity fraud then.
God damn it, Jen. I mean,
it's fraud. I mean, do you not understand that that's fraud? If he's lying about, you're saying, okay.
Yes, Jan. Listen, if he pays the scientist $1,000 to change the result, that's fraud.
Okay, that's all I wanted you to say. It's fraud. But you have an issue with the wording. Like, is it paternity, maternity? I don't know, but it's all fraud. If a woman is lying about.
Again, women, I hope y'all are checking this behavior, man. Leaving the comments on. Please hold this woman accountable. Let me know y'all thoughts. Please don't let me know that y'all are in agreement with, again, the whole topic of paternity. And then she just said, oh, I just want to talk about fraud, period. Forget what the show is about. Forget the actual definition of the word. Forget the contexts and all the examples that they're talking about. It's just, well, I just want to say this. Well, I just want to say this. Even if it ain't about the topic. Even if it ain't this. Even if I'm completely wrong. I just want to say this. I just want to say this. I just want to say this. Just to say some shit. Even if you come off as a complete ass. You just want to keep just saying things and just keep talking just to talk. Even again, if you're just making yourself, look at his face. He's like, bruh.
Who the daddy is paternity fraud. So if the man is lying about who the daddy is that not paternity fraud too?
Yes,
this is a lawyer, so
the
he
man
has
pays
restraint.
the scientist $1,000 to change the result. That's fraud.
Thank you. Hello, I'm not the crazy one. That's all my whole point was. I'm sorry it took that long to get to. I don't read the chat. If they can't, that's why I'm talking to you. You the attorney. I'm not talking to the lay people. You the attorney. I expect you to understand this. So, thank you. But
Jen, you are crazy. You are all. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Everybody.
But as far as earlier, I'm just going by. As far as this,
it's funny. You could be in a room with a whole bunch of people, and you could be in a room with 100 people. 99% of the room is telling you look like an ass, and you're just like, oh, well, they're just dumb. That's modern day. Again, it don't matter examples. It's all just subjective truth. It's all just about what's going on in a person's mind. Reality ain't reality no more. Things don't mean concrete and definite things anymore. It's all just subjective to whatever the fuck a person's feel or thinks or.
This DNA stuff. I mean, what about you're assuming that a lot of men want to know? I know a lot of men who really don't want to know.
That's not true. That you do not know a lot of men who do not want to know.
I do. Okay, just like I just gave you the paternity fraud.
No, you don't know. You might know. You might know. You might want. You might know one man. You might know. Who left? Did somebody leave? You might know one man who tells you he doesn't want to know, or you might know one man who really knows, but he's telling you he doesn't want to know. But you don't know a lot of men who don't want to know, Jan. That's just not true.
Well, I know several examples. I mean, I know more that, in my case, that didn't want to know than do want to know.
All right, Jan. Let's go down this road.
She says she knows more men who didn't want to know if they were the father of the kid than men who actually do want to know that they're the father of the kid. Bro, it's like she's just saying bullshit, bro. How many men don't really want to know that they're the father? Any man in the comments, bro, any man that's watching this right now, let me know if you wouldn't give a damn about taking care of a kid and not want to know if it's yours. Not want to know if that's your DNA. Listen to this ignorance, bro. Like,
how many men do you know that have children and they do not want to know if the children is theirs or not? Since you know a lot, you said you know a lot. Right? You want to come up here and no. You gonna come up here and talk to an attorney, right? Fine. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this formally. Then you say you know a lot of men who have kids and they do not want to know if they're the father or not.
Let me give you an example.
No. I don't want an example. I'm asking you a specific question. You say,
wow, great way to handle that. She's like, let me give you an example. I don't want another made up example. Give me the number of men that you're talking about when you say you know a lot of men that don't want to know they're the father of the kids. Let's see what her reaction is. Great way to not allow her to deflect, because she was definitely about to try to. Well, I can give you an example of made up land and fairy tale land. Nah, let me know the number of people you're talking about, since you say a lot of men don't want to know whether they're the father or not.
know a lot of men who have kids and they don't want to know if they're the father or not. How many men do you know? You say you know a lot. How many men have kids and they don't want to know if they're the fathers or not? How many?
Well, at least one now.
Well, all right, people in the chat. Who in the chat considers a lot to be one?
I'm just saying currently, I'm you want me to go in my mind.
Dan, no. You said,
because I wanted to give you examples.
Dan, no. You said men. Men is plural. Men means
okay,
two or more.
Two. Okay, I just thought of two. Like I said, I could sit here and think of a lot if I just sit here and think, but I was about to give you the examples, the real examples, but two. Now I just thought of two. I know of two.
Well, two is not a lot, is it, Jan?
No, but you okay. But how many people do I know that the question if the kid is theirs? I don't know a whole lot of people like that. But when the question comes up that is it my baby? The men a lot of times, I'm not gonna say I mean several times that I know of, they don't want to know. So regardless of whether it is a lot or several or a few or a couple, get off the wording. What about those men? What about the men who are okay with not knowing? And I do know men like that.
Okay, Jan. You know a lot of men who You know a lot of men who don't want to know if their kids are theirs or not. If you say it, Jan, we'll believe it. You know all these men who have kids and they don't want to know if their kids are theirs. They're supporting these kids. They're going to work 9 to 5.
I can tell you, I'm trying to get these people to take DNA tests and they don't want to get it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to encourage them to get the DNA test. Oh, I just thought of a third one. I thought of a third one. Yeah, so yeah, I know a lot of men, and you know what? If they were legally married, it doesn't matter if they get a DNA test. And that's another question I wanted to ask you. When you're talking about telling a woman, I'm going to get a DNA test on the kids we have, are you talking about a wife or a girlfriend, a baby mama or a wife?
Jan, I think everybody in the chat loves you, but they want me to move on. But I appreciate you.
I mean, but you're okay. Well, you can't answer the questions. I mean, I'm asking the question, but you're not. I mean,
I'm just listen. We got 300 people in the chat, so I need we're a democracy. I need to but I got people in the back too. But I appreciate you coming up, Jan.
All right. Well, I had the child. We don't get along with the child support questions and move along. Let it go to someone else. But I'll send you email.
Gosh, that was just a damn headache, man. Oh my gosh. Fellas, don't engage with women like that, man. He did this for entertainment purposes, you know what I'm saying, to get views. If I had a woman on my show, I would kind of let it drag out too, just for the views. But in your everyday life, don't engage with women like that. That just need to be right, that want to put everybody down. They call it sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Stay away from those type of women, man. It's just going to make your life hell. It's just going to give you a headache. As a man, you don't even need to deal with that type of stuff, bro. So, sheesh, this was a headache, bro. This was draining the spirit. I'm going to have to do some jumping jacks or something to shift my little spirit around because, Lord, she was just aggravating. Lord have mercy. Nonetheless, I appreciate y'all checking out another episode of Chris McBride Reacts, man. Before y'all leave, go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and then also leave a couple comments. Let me know how crazy you think that woman was in the comment section, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Until next time, peace.